Hey there and welcome. Pysanky eggs make wonderful holiday ornaments, either to decorate your own home, pop on your own Christmas tree, or to make as gifts. Today I'm going to walk you through a couple things. First of all, I'm going to show you how to do this red and white design made of reindeer and Christmas trees. Secondly, I'm going to show you an easy way to make your eggs hangable. Okay, we're going to begin our ornament design with a single band around our egg. I like to use a few dots to help navigate a straight line. Some people like to use pencil marks or just eyeball it, whatever works for you. Once you get your center line done, we're going to add 2 more lines on either side of our center line. I like to think of this band as basically a frame. It'll be framing the designs on either side of our ornament. All right, let's repeat this line on the other side. Great, now that we've gotten all 3 lines done, you'll notice that some of the lines are a little wavy. We've got a few little bloopers here and there. Don't worry about that at all. As we begin to add our design, you'll notice that those little imperfections will magically disappear. Okay, next we're going to begin to add dots on this outer band and continue this all the way around. And once you finish your dots on the first side, let's repeat those on the opposite band. And just to begin your spacing, it's visually helpful to kind of align your dots with those below on the opposite line. All right, we're going to continue with more dots, and this time we're just going to do them on the underside of this little line between the dots that we have already added. And just continue this around. All right, once you've finished these dots on the inner side, flip your egg around and just repeat that on the other side. Fun, right? Okay, now that we have finished the dots all the way around our band, let's talk about the center line. We're going to begin at the bottom of our egg, and by bottom I mean the fuller part of our egg, and we're just going to begin these little diagonal lines all the way up. I like to think of these as wheat or perhaps little evergreen needles. And we're doing this on 1/2 of the egg first. Okay, just repeat this on the other side. Okay. Instead of continuing the wheat around the other side of your egg, we're going to turn it over and we're going to begin at the bottom and we're going to go up. This way, both sides, the wheat, or what I'm calling wheat, the diagonals will be facing up. Don't worry if they're not absolutely together in the bottom, because we're going to be blowing our eggs out afterwards, so there'll be a hole there anyway. Great. Now that we have finished the band all the way around our egg, we're going to begin our main design. And we're going to begin with a basket, then reindeer, and our tree. We're going to again work on the lower part or the fuller part of our egg. And we're going to begin with our basket, the top of our basket, with a single horizontal line. Right? We're now going to add a second line below that, a little bit shorter, directly underneath. Okay, now let's connect the bottom to the top with a diagonal. And there's our basket. Now at this point we're going to go back and we're going to add to the top of our basket. This is also a terrific time if you need to do any straightening out. also adding just a little bit, if you'd like, on either side, extending that just a little bit, which gives us a little more writing space when we go to add our reindeer. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just thicken this line a bit. And there you go. Next, we're going to add 2 dots or balls on the bottom of our basket. I like to think of these as feet. I think that they help weight our basket a little visually. Okay, hold on here. All right, now we're going to add lattice to our basket. What I find is helpful is to follow this diagonal all the way across, right? Great. All right, let's add to this lattice. Flip your egg around, and this time we're going to follow this diagonal on the other side. And continue that across. Lovely. All right, at this point we're going to add our tree, and what we're going to do is find the center of our basket and make a line all the way up. Great. Now, before adding branches to our tree, I like to go ahead and begin with our reindeer. I find later it's easier to balance where we want to put the branches. So to begin our reindeer, we're going to make little upside down V's for feet. Little chevrons. You can, for centering, start at the center of the tree and use the outer part of the basket as well. Great. For me, I feel like it's easier to balance the design by getting the feet done on either side first. And there are your feet. All right, let's begin the body of our reindeer. Little horizontal line connecting your 2 V's. Right? Like little sawhorses. Okay. Now we're going to do the neck and the head. What we want to do is follow the diagonal of this front leg. We're going to go up and do a number 9, right? Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Again, we're going to follow the diagonal on the front leg. This time we're going to do a backward 9. Around. There we go. Now let's begin their bodies. We're going to, again, on the back leg, follow the diagonal, come up, and we're going to create a little box for his body. And fill that in. Great. Let's do this on the other side. As you can see, the bodies aren't quite even. Well, guess what? We'll be able to fix that very soon. Follow the diagonal on the back line, straight up. Again, we're going to create our little box, fill that in, and we can lower his belly just a little bit. Now they look a little more even. Terrific. Fill in the heads. Now, they look a little bit like dinosaurs, so let's add some necks. You're going to start in the mid spot of the back, and you're just going to scoop up, right? Fill that in. Same on the other side. Mid back, just a scoop up. Let's go ahead and give them a little tail. Great. Now they are not reindeer unless they have antlers. So we're going to do 2 little scoops up from the back of the head. 1, 2, and the key here is to make sure that you give yourself enough room between those 2 lines. Okay, let's do this on the other side. 1, 2. All right. Now, the same kind of what we called wheat design that we did here, we're going to do on our little antlers. Now they're starting to look like reindeer. Repeat this on the other side. The more you do these, the easier they get. All right, now before we go any further on this basket, let's add, just for some fun, some balls on the end. These are absolutely optional, but since we're going to do a basket on the other side, I thought we would do a little change on this. All right, now let's begin our branches. We're going to start low and do a diagonal line up. Do 1, 2, 3, and repeat those on the other side. 1, whoop. Great. And again, we're going to continue the same little diagonals on our tree branches. All right, let's add a star on the top of our tree. And just for some fun, let's also add a few balls on the end of each branch. And there we go. All right, flip your egg over and we're going to begin the second side, which will be very similar to the first side, but with a few variations, just so that you've got some fun options to play with. Okay, we're going to do a similar basket, straight across. A little blooper there, doesn't matter because we're going to thicken this anyway. All right, we're going to have our second line below. Thicken that as well. Yeah, because of that, let's go with it, shall we? All right, got our 2 diagonals on either side again. Great. Add our feet, as we did before, just to ground our basket. And at this point, I'm going to change Kiska sticks, and I'm now going to be using a fine tip so that you can see how this looks. Again, we're going to follow the diagonal on the side of our basket and continue this all the way across. Right? All right, flip our egg around. And this time we're going to follow the diagonal on the left side. You can tell the difference using the fine Kiska. It's just a much more smaller, detailed look. Great. Now, again, just to give ourselves some more writing room, let's extend the end of our basket. This will help when we go to add our reindeer. All right. All right, we're going to find the center of our basket and we're going to go all the way up for our tree. Okay, this time we're going to change up how we make our Christmas tree. Come at about maybe a third of the way out and go all the way up, a bit like a sailboat. Flip your egg around, give yourself a little like evenly spaced dot so you know where you're going. Right? Now let's give our tree a little character. We're going to start from the center and go out. And we are going to follow this pattern all the way up. Right? Okay, we're going to mirror this, and again, we're going to go from the center out. Continue this all the way up, just mirroring this on both sides. Great. Okay, now for our reindeer. Again, we're going to start with the feet, 2 small upside down V's, little chevrons. Use the outside here as a litmus for spacing. Terrific. Now we're going to connect these again, as we did on the other side. Right? Okay, this time I'm going to show you how we can make a reindeer to look out. So again, we're going to follow the diagonal on the front leg, except we're going to make our number 9 backward. Up and out. Right? Follow the diagonal, up and out. Now, let's fill in the head. We can elongate his a little bit just so we can match them on both sides. Don't worry if it's perfect. I think that's part of the charm of being handmade. All right, let's begin the body in the same way. We're going to just follow this diagonal up. Create our little box again. The neck will be the same thing, just this little scoop. So he looks less like a dinosaur. Same thing here, follow the back leg up. So you're repeating the same thing from the other side, just with the head spacing out. All right, let's give him a neck. Scoop. Okay, and a couple tails if you'd like. Here's his little body. All right, I think it's time for antlers. So we're going to start at the back, and again, we're going to do 2 scoops up. Making sure that you've got ample room between both lines. 1, 2, great. All right, let's add these diagonals. Sometimes using these finer tip Kiskas can actually make these the little details on your design a little easier to do. All right, let's decide where we want our branches. I like to start lower. If you start here at the top, your tree ends up looking a bit like a palm tree. So we're going to start low, go up, 2, 3. Repeat on this side. Right? Again, let's add to our branches. And just as a reminder, whatever color your eggshell is at the time that you are adding the wax, that is what color will remain when the wax is taken off. So right now, everything that we have done in wax will remain white. And even though these eggs are going to be red and white, you can certainly use other colors. Green for the tree, blue, purple for the basket, a mix of colors, whatever you'd like. All right. And to mix it up, let's add a few dashes in here. We'll add some to our top. Extend this a bit. And let's do a bigger ball on this side. And how about this one? We add some, what I like to call shine bursts, little sunbursts. Terrific. Maybe some smaller balls here, just to add a little detail. And there you have it, 2 different holiday design options to play with. Okay, once you've gotten all of your wax applied, you have popped your egg into the red dye, you're going to remove the wax and polyurethane your egg. And if you work on raw eggs like I do, that's the time to blow your egg. If you need help with any of this, check out my Basics of Pysanky video. The link is below. To make your egg hangable though, you're going to need to make sure that you have a hole on the top and the bottom part of your egg. Also, to make it hangable, all you'll need is some thin crafting ribbon and a long needle. The needle needs to be about, I would say, maybe 2.5, 3 inches long, just so that we can fit it through our egg. All right. Your ribbon needs to be about maybe 16 inches long. I usually gauge it from my elbow to the tips of my fingers. Now, something to keep in mind, when you're choosing your needles, the eye of the needle needs to be big enough that you can fit your ribbon through, but not too big that you don't have trouble getting it through the end of your egg. Okay, pop that ribbon through the end of your needle. Tie your ends together. Small knot, right? Then we're just going to gently thread this through our egg, and voila, carefully pull that through. All right, we're just going to snip this here, hang on to your egg, and as you tie your ribbons together at this point, you can also decide how long you want your ornament to hang. And it is that easy. I hope this has been fun. For other ideas or techniques in working with Pysanky, check out my other YouTube videos. The links are below.